Hi, I'm Jennifer Dassel. I am Curator of Modern and Contemporary Art at the North Carolina Museum of Art, and I want to welcome you to Frida Kahlo, Diego Rivera, and Mexican Modernism from the Jacques and Natasha Gelman collection. So the collection of Jacques and Natasha Gelman was a very personal one. They are originally from Eastern Europe and ended up living in Mexico in the late 1930s and began collecting Mexican modern art during the 1940s. And one of the first people that they became involved with was Diego Rivera. And very quickly they became not only collectors of Rivera's work, but also good friends. So you can see in this work, which is called Kahlo Lily Vendor from 1943, that for Diego, his symbols of Mexico was really focusing on what he felt were the everyday people, the laborers, the people who were doing the normal, everyday, back-breaking work. So in this image, we have a man who you can barely see lingering, holding up this wonderful, joyous bouquet of calla lilies as two women who are barefoot are kneeling in front of the basket and trying to stuff as many of these exuberant lilies as they can. Thinking about how beautiful the flowers are, but also thinking about how many of them are in there. So thinking about the man who you can barely see is going to have to carry and lift and lug this basket all around. So it's hard work. And for Diego, it's the people who were doing these everyday, hard-working, even painstaking jobs that for him really represented the heart and soul of Mexico. There are over 130 pieces of art in this exhibition done by 37 separate artists, but none of them, I think, are as big a name and as big a draw as Frida Kahlo. Frida Kahlo was Diego Rivera's wife, and she was an active artist throughout her entirety of her adulthood, but she was not lauded or really celebrated as an artist until very, very late in her life, and far after her death, she rose to superstardom. This work is called Diego on My Mind, and for me, it really shows one of the reasons that Frida is so beloved today by so many people, and that's because she opens up her life to us as an artist in a way that very few artists did at that particular time. Diego on My Mind was created about a year after the artists remarried. So Frida and Diego got married in 1929. They were married for 10 years, then divorced. And then after a year of divorce, they got remarried and stayed married for the rest of their lives. I love this work because it shows that she literally has her husband on her mind. She's thinking about him in this newfound honeymoon phase of being married to each other for the second time. So it makes sense that in this moment of feeling re-energized and married again to her husband, that she's celebrating that by donning this headdress. Frida Kahlo has been adopted by so many people as an icon in many different ways. And for many people, she's become this incredible fashion icon because the fashion and the way that Frida presented herself throughout her lifetime was very important to her. Instead of wearing traditional European style clothes, she would hearken back to parts of Mexico where she herself never actually visited but felt very strong kinship with. So in particular, she liked to dress like the Tijuana women from the Oaxaca region of Mexico because she felt very closely identified with them because of their colorfulness and also their power and their independence. And as a very powerful, colorful, independent woman herself, that makes sense that she would find such inspiration in their clothes. This exhibition has 4 reproduction garments that were commissioned by the Gelman collection to give you a sensation of the kind of outfits that Frida would put together and wear every day, including later in her life when she was very ill or on bed rest. She took such pains with her appearance and really established the sensation of personal branding before many other people would. Something that I really love about this exhibition is that we have the opportunity to dig in a little bit more to some lesser known Mexican modern artists and also to dig into some lesser known works by people like Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera, including this still life by Frida Kahlo. So please come experience this great exhibition through January 19th at the North Carolina Museum of Art in Raleigh.